Tour Junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the 2025 Open Championship betting preview. It's Royal Portrush time. We're in Ireland this week. Well, we're not, but the guys are. They're playing golf. They're in Ireland this week, and we are pumped. Second week of overseas action. We just had the Genesis Scottish this past week. We're going to break down everything you need to know about the Open in Ireland. Going to talk the golf course, some key stats, the model, and then get into some early outright thoughts, talk a little weather, early outright thoughts, some top 20 locks and bombs potentially for the week. Our boy Matt Every is not with us this week, as he told us last week he was going to be on vacation. He has sent us his season-long picks. I have those in my possession, and he's ready to go for those. And he's only got about 5 more weeks, or else he's going to be doing a stand-up comedy routine. More on that in a minute. My boy Pat, I saw something earlier a couple years ago. It came across my timeline, Pat, about this week last year. You had your face painted. It was right after Scotland, and you were William Wallaced out. I know we're in Ireland, but you were William Wallaced out. You had a lovely speech in the beginning of the podcast episode. Anything prepared tonight? I want to give you the floor if you have.
I don't. I'd almost forgotten about that, and God, those were good times. I wonder, did I do that because I was on a cold streak? Probably. I don't know. What came up on my timeline was your wife stripping your hair off your leg, your inner thigh. Was that the open week of like a few years ago, like 5 years ago or something? Like, so
yeah,
2 very different open week things that happened. You getting your thigh waxed and me dressing like William Wallace. So.
I mean, we are 10 years into this and we've run out of ideas at this point. So we just turn the cameras on after we do our research, and whatever happens, happens. We just, if you guys can't tell, we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep sending it, but we're sending it U.S. Postal Service. Like, we're not overnight FedExing or, any of that. It's just we're using the U.S. Postal Service at this point for the shows. So hopefully you're still with us. You are. If you're listening to this, you are. But we appreciate it. We also appreciate our friends at SoBet, because they keep putting out banger contests week after week. We keep putting out good content over there. Did pretty good on the top 40 market again this week. Hit 2 out of 4. Victor Perez missed it by a shot. That really bummed me out. Had the Matt Fitzpatrick sweat down to the wire on Sunday before Chris Gotterup snatched it from my clutches and the clutches of a lot of people on X, but I did have that one over there on SoBet as well. We're dropping exclusive golf bets on SoBet every week, now up about 17 units on the season. Us, along with a bunch of other handicappers, near about 100 handicappers for every sport imaginable. They're on SoBet. Leaderboards available for you to check out, see who's hot, who's not every single day. And then, of course, they're doing their contests where everybody can compete. Everybody can play. There's no entry fee. You just have to be a SoBet member, and you don't even have to be a professional handicapper. You can just throw out some bets of your own and maybe take down the nice prize. They gave away another $5,000 this past week. It was another successful contest for our friends at SoBet. So click the link in the description. If you have not already joined SoBet and given them a shot, please do. They've been partnering with us for 2.5 years now. So they believe in us. They put a lot behind the show, and we appreciate them. We'd appreciate you if you appreciate them appreciating us. How's that?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. You kind of confused me there, but I definitely appreciate them for sure. And I would appreciate the listeners doing what you tell them to do, DB.
I would have appreciated Matt Fitzpatrick closing out that tournament briefly on the Genesis, but it was cool to see Chris Gotterup with a big breakthrough win. I mean, won the Myrtle Beach event last year, but Gotterup, he's a stud. And I have to say, he was number 7 in DB's Bet the Number model last week. He was 7th in the model. I think I like skimmed past his name on the show because it popped and it was kind of getting my attention. I didn't bet on him in any capacity.
He should have popped. He should have popped a little bit, I think. And he's been playing well. I mean, you look at the trend of his finishes, it's been really good. Going back to Fitzy real quick, we did spend a good amount of time on Fitzy on the show, and he was definitely up there with shot. But yeah, Gotterup, man, do you think that Gotterup? I feel like was he about the same time? I know he's pretty young, but like Gordon Sargent, everybody wants to talk about as a young guy. Obviously Ludwig has proven himself out there, but I feel like Gotterup was at the same time as a lot of these newer young folks that are out there, and we kind of forgot about him a little bit. He was like a novelty that he could hit it really far.
Yeah, I mean, good college
He's
player.
really good, and you listen to his interview after he won. Like this kid is not. He's here to stay around. Like I think we're going to see a lot more of him, and it was a big victory for him. So it's good to see.
Yeah, we shall see. It obviously did a lot for his Ryder Cup rankings as well as Ryder Cup watch continues. He is he's not close, but he made a nice jump. I'm trying to find him. He's 41st. He moved up 30 spots. He's just behind Davis Thompson. So probably not making the Ryder Cup, but be an interesting case if he does something else between now and then. But good to see him do his thing. And out.
Who he's behind?
Who? Jake Knapp.
Brian Campbell.
Oh God, I don't want to talk. I'm not talking about him this week. I got a lot of hate from my brother. In fact, by the way, there was a comment on the YouTube video last week with my rant from a YouTube channel called Brian Campbell PGA, and there were no videos on the channel, and it said, I can't remember what it said, but it was like, what's this dude's problem or whatever. I think it might actually be Brian Campbell's YouTube channel, like that he uses to watch content. He doesn't put any content out, but he uses it to watch content. And hey, if it is, props to you, man. Hey, listen, I more respect for you if you hear some guy like me talking trash and you clap back. That's what I want. I like that. That you move up a notch in my book. Do I want you anywhere near my U.S. Ryder Cup team? Absolutely not. But you gain some points in my book. I will say that.
Yeah.
So Brian Campbell PGA, if that's you. Can you imagine if it's not him and somebody set up a YouTube account and named it Brian Campbell PGA?
A lot of effort there for Brian Campbell.
Was that you? Did you do that?
No. I promise. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
It would be funny. It would be a funny troll for you to do that. And then just be in my comments and like message me like you're really him. That would actually be pretty funny. I don't know why you haven't
Brian
thought
Campbell
of that.
on the show. We should have him on the show anyway.
You try to get him on.
All right, let me see if I can get him on.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's talk about Royal Portrush. This was the site of the 2019, I think it was 2019, Open Championship that Shane Lowry ran away with. It's the 153rd Open. It's a par 71, around 7,300, 7,400 yards. I was messaging with our boy Aaron Fleener today. He was on site doing a little practice round with JT Post, and he said, "Boy, this place is a little claustrophobic off the tee." He said it makes you think. And then I saw some quotes posted in our Discord. Shout out Spaz. Saw some quotes posted in the Discord about from Rory and Shane talking about how the bunkers are in play here. There's not a lot of them. There's only like 30 something bunkers on this whole golf course, so it's not heavily bunkered like you think of a lot of links courses. But if you were playing it, you would be in 40 of the 36 or however many.
Every single one, because that's what happened when I played over there. Yeah.
But Shane and Rory were both talking about how the bunker placement is strong with Portrush, and it really makes you think. And you have a lot of options off the tee. But Fleener was like, "Man, this is playing tight." And I said, "Well, is it firm?" And he said, "Yeah, it's pretty firm right now." Now, we say this every year for the Open. We say it every week for the Scottish Open the week before. Obviously, weather's key. Don't get too pot committed to your guys before we understand what the weather looks like. We know the Open Championship historically has can have some of the largest wave disparity between the two waves on Thursday and Friday of any other golf tournament. And that could really tank your bets if you're not paying attention or you get too committed beforehand. So check the weather. As we talk about guys tonight, for the most part, I don't feel too strong about betting on these guys right now. There are a couple that I do want right now. But for the most part, we still want to kind of check the weather and see what's up. And I'm willing to give away a few points in the betting market, but not get screwed if there's a shot and a half, 2-shot, 3-shot advantage to one side and my guy be on the wrong side. I'm willing to give away a few points if I miss it, and that's okay. That's just what you deal with when you're over here. The weather can change a lot. There's reports of rain, but then I've also heard and heard people in Ireland talk about how if it gets any rain, it's not going to be a lot, and it might not be enough to really soften this place up, which is great. It was a little softer when Shane Lowry won in 2019, so it'd be great to have another week of fiery, Irish links golf. I mean, last week, wasn't that refreshing to like see the ball bouncing and the grass brown and the bump and runs, Pat?
Oh, well, it's always refreshing to see the bump and runs, but I agree. I want to see this thing firm and fast. That's what we all want from an Open Championship. I mean, you're going to get weather here and there, but it doesn't look like we're going to have a lot of wind, though. I will say that. Now,
Yeah.
again, like you said, it could change.
Yep.
I do not expect though us to see like the last time at Portrush where one guy pretty much kind of ran away with it. I mean, Fleetwood was a little kind of up there going into Sunday, but for the most part, Shane just, I mean, he had it in the bag on Sunday and it was just a coronation on Sunday. But outside of him, it was a very close, together leaderboard. And I would think we'll see a little more of that than just one person running away with it this year.
Yeah, you hope so, and especially if it's going to play a little more difficult, which Lowry said today in his presser, he thinks it will be a little more difficult than it was in 2019. So I think that could bring kind of the group together. I wore my firm and fast hat. This is Old Barnwell right here, which is when I played it a couple weeks ago. It was the firmest, fastest golf course I've ever played, including the ones we played in Scotland. It was extremely firm and fast. So I'm buying into that. I'm believing. I hit a 4-iron at Old Barnwell like 260. Aldrich Podgater hit a drive 400 last week. So let's get firm and fast fairways and fiery conditions. I think it'll be a good time.
I love it.
So if you take a peek at the Bet the Number model, there's a couple of interesting things in there, some good stats in there. Let me open it up here. Let me share my screen and just look. I just want to talk through the key stats, I guess, and what Bet the Number put in there. Now, I did drop my own model on Bet the Number already today, so you can check that out. But this is the Bet the Number model. In fact, they dropped two, which they normally don't do. But all three of these are public. DB's Royal Portrush, the BTN 25 Simple, and this one, two different models from them. If you want to simplify it, obviously you can use that one. But this is what they've got. Off the tee approach. I won't show you the weightings on these, but you can see the weightings right here if you click on that on the slider. But off the tee approach. And then I thought this was interesting from off the tee. Distance from the edge of the fairway. Now, how that's measured is and what's interesting is I chose a slightly different approach, which I won't show you that, but you can go look at it. But I did capture something similar to this. Distance from the edge of the fairway is measured on par 4s and par 5s when players are not going for the green if it's drivable on a par 4, and it's the feet off the edge of the fairway when they miss. So that's what that is, when they miss. So I guess Bet the Number wants to know who misses small here. No big misses. It's kind of what
Who's
they
got
want.
a little miss.
If and listen, no shame if you have a little
it's
miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, some people, I mean, they can work their little miss just as good as somebody with a big one,
That's what I hear. Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the size of the boat in the water, but the
Yeah.
motion in the ocean.
Mhm.
The key approach bucket here from Bet the Number 170 to 230. So mid irons to long irons here is what they're looking at. Putting from 6 to 15 feet they see as valuable. You don't have the super large typical Scottish Irish greens here. I think the square footage is only around 5,400 square foot on average here. So they're not as big as they are at the Renaissance Club. They're not as big as a lot of other open rotation courses, just like St. Andrews. They're a little smaller, and they're also they're a good bit more undulating. Not as much, not so flat Scottish, Irish looking flat. Not a lot of character greens. There's some character and undulation here. And again, Rory and Shane talked about that today in their presser. They also have around the green and scrambling here. Now, the minds behind Bet the Number are smarter than we are, okay? A couple of the minds behind Bet the Number have worked for the data team for a couple of U.S. Ryder Cup teams and the analytics team for the U.S. Ryder Cup. One of the brilliant minds behind Bet the Number works with about 10 PGA Tour players every single week on course analytics and data. So they know what they're talking about, and they're at these golf courses every week. They think that they like to see the around the green and the scrambling number. I'll figure out why. I don't remember why, Pat. I think they've told us, but I've forgotten. I'll put it in the Discord. So that's a little bit of the behind the scenes Bet the Number model. Of course, the live odds and the DraftKings salaries all pulled from DraftKings. You can sort by that if you want to, but you can see who's number one in the model. But look it up for yourself. If you don't want to do the work for yourself, you just join Bet the Number. And you can click the link in the description at the bottom of the show and join for yourself. Code TJ gets you a nice discount on a monthly or annual membership. Go ahead and do the annual membership. I know golf season is almost over, but you're going to get a better deal now probably than you are in the beginning of January when, if prices go up. So do the annual membership now, and that just covers you all through next golf season, the fall, everything. You're covered. And that way you'll get acclimated. Bet the Number's continuing to make improvements to the product. They continue to leave out all the BS. So you're not looking at dumb stuff, just confusing your models and filters and overwhelming you with chaos on your screen. So it's a great place. Pat and I have become recent owners of Bet the Number, part owners of Bet the Number. We're backing it. They're backing us and Tour Junkies. So if you're using it, we want to hear from you. We want the feedback. That's why me and Pat are here. We want to give that feedback to Bet the Number and see some great changes as we get into the fall and start the new year in 2026. This being our last major of the year. So click the link in the description, give it a shot. Tell us what you think. Pat, any thoughts on the model other than that or the golf course?
No, I mean, I think this golf course is going to be fantastic. I think, like you alluded to, I mean, the greens and the undulation around the greens, especially if we get firm and fast, are really kind of the star of the show here. And that's what's, going to be important is these guys that are, the ones that are playing well and they're playing well around the greens. They know how to control their distances with their irons into these greens, and then have a good week putting on them. I think that's where the key is going to be. And I'm expecting a good one. I think it's going to be a good week.
3 par 5s here. You really got to eat on those. The first 5 holes, pretty scoreable. That's where Shane Lowry made, most of his hay in 2019. You got to do damage on those first 5 holes. If you don't come out hot on those first 5, you're in trouble. So, and everybody goes off of number 1 for the Open. We get these long golf days. I love it. Everybody goes off number 1, no split tee BS. 156-man field, top 70 and ties play the weekend. So top 70 in ties. Last week it was 65, I think. Or 60. No, it was regular 60 last week.
Yeah.
But top 70 in ties this week. You got a short-ish par 3. The rest of them are kind of brute. And then you got a drivable par 4 and the par 5s that you got to tear it up. And the last 4 holes are brutal. I do think that could lend itself to a little live betting opportunity if you're sitting there on Sunday with your coffee golf. Because if somebody goes out early and could post the number on Sunday, if maybe there's also weather coming, something like that, I just think this course lends itself to disaster coming down the stretch. So be on the lookout for that. Take note of that. We'll see. Because I did see where Sunday looked like that might be the windiest day. So if that remains, that could get interesting. But I do think there's a live betting opportunity given the way this golf course plays. What else? Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right.
No.
Let's talk season long real quick. Our boy Matt Every is not here, but he has sent in his picks. We only have 5 more weeks before the season long competition between myself, Pat, Matt Every, and producer Tony is over. Nobody wins anything. It's just the loser, whoever has the least amount of money at the end of the season, at the end of the BMW Championship, must do a 5 to 10 minute stand-up routine, comedy routine, and we get to see it. And Tony's starting to pull away now from last place Matt Every. Matt Every is at 7.3 million. Tony is at 10.3 million. That can still change in one tournament. I am at basically 14.8 million, and Pat is at 17.4 million. So I feel like me and Pat are fairly safe from Matt. Tony is still trying to claw it out. Now, Matt has the first pick this week. He is on vacation. He has already sent in that he will be selecting Mr. Scotty Scheffler with his first overall pick for the Open Championship, and I do have his long shot. So, Pat, you are on the board. You're on the clock for your first pick, a name at 30 to 1 or shorter, as well as a name at 150 to 1 or longer. Who you got?
I mean,
hello,
there's a guy in here. There's a guy in here. Hey, Tony. A guy in here that's on the shorter end that I like this week a lot, but I'm still just going to go with my guy Rory. I had him last week. He almost won. I'll do it again this week.
Yep, figured you were going to go Rory. You're the Rory guy. Listen, I think honestly, I think Rory's the best value out between him and, I mean, obviously he's plus 750, Scheffler's plus 450. No, yeah, duh. But I like him better here, and I like him better on the links course stuff. Like, I don't know. I just think this is a better
I
spot for
agree.
Rory. If I were picking first, I would have taken Rory. So there you go. It's my pick, right? I'm taking John Rahm. Um, Great
Love
open
it.
record, playing, still playing well, has played well in the majors this year. T14, T8, T7. And then said yesterday, I think, in a post round presser for Live that he feels like he's hitting it as good as he's ever hit it. So I got to take
Almost
Rahm.
won. Yeah, almost won the most recent live event. So
Yep, in Spain. All right, Tony, who you got?
Tempted to go right down the board and go Bryson, but I think I'm going to skip over him. And at 25 to
Ooh,
1, I'm going to go Xander.
okay,
I think I like that.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
His not recent form, but event history just completely stands out here. Obviously the win last year, but then T17, T15, T26. Seems like he's got a good dial on these links courses. So yeah, we'll go Xander.
And I mean, outside of St. Andrews, definitely one of Bryson's worst. I mean, it is Bryson's worst major, the Open. St. Andrews, you can kind of bomb and gouge it. I don't love Bryson's chances here this week either. So I think that's a good call. All right,
Yeah.
you got you're coming back around with your
Yeah.
bomb.
Coming back around, he's at 130 to 1, it looks like here. But
It's got to be 150.
yeah, well, we've gone back and forth with that because we did the majors, we did 100 to 1, but we said 150. I'll
Well,
honor
it's a
that.
156 man field. The other majors has been small. Like
Smaller
the
fields.
Masters was small.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Masters is a limited field. So no, I got you. I was gonna say attempted to go Wyndham Clark, but he's at 130 to 1 there. So I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. Nick Taylor.
Oh, that was the one I
Ooh,
had on my
okay.
list. That was one on my list. Okay. So that's back to me. I'm gonna go with another. Oh, do I do that? Hold on, it's between two. Hang on, let me double check. I'm gonna go with another Canadian. I'm going with Pendrith. Give me Taylor
Oh,
Pendrith.
okay.
He is. Oh crap, he's 130. He dropped. Son of a.
Oh yeah, he is 130.
Okay, that's okay. I have a backup. Give me. God, this could really shock the people. No, I shouldn't do it. Should I do it? No, I shouldn't do it. All right, give me Nikolai Højgaard. Give me Nick. Give me the better Højgaard at 150 to 1.
Okay. Well, that was where I was going to go. So, you know what? I'll go with the more recently added live player, Tom McKibben.
Oh, you're going
I,
yeah, I like Tom.
He's finished in the top 5 last week in at the live event. He's 150 to 1. Does have a little experience in the Open, so I think I'm going to go with Tom McKibben there at 150 to 1.
And a Northern Irish. You got the two Northern Irishmen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah.
Well, I asked Matt beforehand. I said, "Hey, send me a couple bombs in the event that, because you're the last pick, that somebody would snipe it from you." And he goes, "I'm only going to send you one name. Nobody's taking this name," which leads me to believe Matt Every has a little inside intel because Matt Every lives in Ponte Vedra. Another person who lives in Ponte Vedra is this player's caddy. And I'm not sure if the player lives in Ponte Vedra, but his caddy lives in Ponte Vedra. Now, I cannot confirm or deny whether or not Matt is friends with this caddy or knows this person, but Matt Every is taking live player, Australian, built like the bag of milk. Mark Leishman is going on
Oh
at 300 to 1 for Matt Every. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Probably not.
He's swinging for the fences.
He's swinging for the fences.
He's got to get there. He's got to get there. So
I wonder if
we
he
have
knows
the baseball
Davis.
segment. So this is basically his the home run derbies tonight too.
That is
So,
true. Yeah.
Yeah, fellas, I got something for you before we move on. Looking down at the 150 range, I cannot wait to hear whoever the name of the announcer is now for the Open. It's not Ivor anymore. After I just saw that he actually
Yeah.
died 2 years ago, but he stepped down a couple years ago. I can't wait
Yeah.
to hear him say Tom McKibben. I cannot wait for him to be
Yeah.
announced in that Oh, that's gonna be glorious on a Thursday morning.
My son and I were watching coverage on Sunday morning, and we picked up a new Scottish word, Pat, a new Scottish word that one of the announcers said, and we have been absolutely just blicky on everything. Every opportunity we're spraying out this word, and my wife is like, "Can you please, to God, stop saying it?" Because I'm working it in everywhere. The announcer said, "Alia, Alia,
Alia.
Alia." Got it? Nope, still don't got it.
No.
Well, Alia, I went down to the golf course and I hit some balls on the range. I did that, Alia.
Oh, Alia. Alia. Yeah. Okay.
Dude, just been slaying it. Slaying Alia for the last 24 hours. No, so we got Alia, oh no, and look at that.
We all got to come back with a word or a phrase for next week's show.
I do love their announcers are just so much better. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
When
That's one reason to listen to the radio broadcast, because you usually get people that are over there because they don't want to, the tour and everyone. They're not going to pay for a bunch of people to go over there and do so they just use people that are already over there.
Yeah.
So the radio is actually almost better than TV when it comes to being able to hear stuff like Alia.
100% better. Alia. All right. That's the season-long bet. Let's get into some outrights, some early leans, all that good stuff. Let's talk about the top of the board real quick, Pat. We've already made our draft, talked about a couple things. I said I think Rory is a better play out of him and Scotty. What do you do with the top? Let's go from. I think the tier is kind of the Morikawa and up range. He's at that 35 to 1 number on DraftKings.
Yep.
The Open tends to, like a lot of majors, tends to go to the shorter numbers. He had Brian Harman win at a big number a few years ago, but tends to go to the shorter numbers. Who do you think? But I do feel like outside of those top three, it kind of feels, I don't know. It feels interesting. Who do you got in here? Who are you leaning towards?
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is kind of what was happening for me when I'm looking at it and doing research. Is I had Jon Rahm up top. I do love Rory. I think I'd include him in there, but as far as a little bit of value there with Rahm at 12 to 1, he's one of my favorites. But then I was jumping down, and there's 5 guys really that I have that I have a hard time like deciding between the two. Or
let me help you. I think I can help you eliminate.
You can help me here, but one of them is not Colin Morikawa. That was where it ended.
Agree. Wouldn't pick him.
So here are the 5.
Okay.
And I know the first one you're going to make a face, and I'm not even looking at you right now, but I'm just going to say the 5. Fleetwood at 28 to 1, Victor at 30 to 1, Tyrrell Hatton at 30 to 1, Ludwig at 30 to 1, and Shane Lowry, who I like again this week to possibly win this tournament again at Portrush at 35 to 1. Those 5 really, to me, I'm having a hard time narrowing down, because I want to take 2 of those guys. I think I want to take Rahm and then 2 of those 5 up top.
Okay. I like Rahm. I think that I can eliminate 2 quickly. I think Ludwig is a no. And I am encouraged. His iron play has started to start like looking again like Ludwig. If you look on Bet the Number and you start in 2024, there's a lot of dark green in that approach play column, and then it kind of goes to a lot of red and pink, which is not what you want. And now it's getting the like mint color green. So it's trending and it looks good. He's been positive the last 5 weeks or 5 events. I worry about his scrambling play, which has never been that good. And he's just made some really dumb mistakes. It's like every tournament he does something kind of dumb.
He had a stretch on Saturday that ruined the whole thing for him last weekend. I think he went
was that
bogey.
The day?
He went bogey.
Triple?
I think it was Saturday. Bogey, like triple, and then a bogey.
It was Sunday.
Maybe that was Sunday. I don't know, but it was like
5
totally
over
took him out of the whole damn golf tournament when he was up there.
And I watched it happen. I was watching it live, and he hit it's just like a brain fart from the fairway from 170 yards, and he went he missed, like, clearly missed to the one spot you cannot miss, and it cost him basically 2.5 shots. Like, it was not good. So I don't know. I don't know about Ludwig. We're
He
talking
was
about
the one I was actually most worried about
okay.
in the 5.
I
So
mean, we're obviously
I
talking about cream of the crop players here, so you can
yeah.
make a case for all these guys. The next one that's off the list for me, because I think you have to be. I think if we're getting a relatively firm and fast Royal Portrush, which as of reports that I got earlier, see what I did there? From our friend Aaron Fleener. If those reports stay and we don't get a wet golf course, even if we do, actually could be worse if we do. You're going to have tightly mown areas to chip from here, just like last week, and that concerns me still for Victor Hovland. I see the iron play is nice, but man, I can't work out how bad his short game is, and I believe that is going to matter.
Yeah.
I just think
So
it's going
good
to
at the
matter.
US Open. So good
And
at the US Open.
it was. And look at him. Look at his trends off the tee. What is going on with him off the tee? Like, look through
Yeah.
2023 and 2024 at the off the tee numbers and the color.
Oh, yeah. Really good. A lot of green.
And look at his ball
Yeah.
speed right now. Last 24 rounds. I don't know what's going on with
Which
his
to me makes you wonder how he's just probably less confident off the tee with his driver. Because if the ball speed's going down, he's probably coming off of it a little bit, not confident. So
I guess
I could agree there. Like I think
I'm looking at the ball speed numbers. Actually, the ball speed numbers aren't really doing anything. He's just kind of mid with the mid relative to the tour.
but he's just been, he really has been pretty solid this year.
He has, but
and
you got to
his
have
finishes are
everything.
good too.
Yeah, but everything's got to be clicking to win the Open. You know what I mean? Like, at least I think. So if I'm
Yeah.
eliminating guys, I would rather have. Here's what I'll tell you. I know I want Rahm, Hatton, and Tommy, and these are names on my list to talk about. So we're not losing any ground here. I depending on how you build the card, I don't hate either. I don't hate having both of them. And I know that's crazy. You thought I was going to roll my eyes with Tommy Ladd. God, he's just playing so well, so consistent, as he always does. He's got a tremendous links record, great Open Championship record. And I feel like he's appropriately like. I think he should be better odds than Victor. I think he probably should be better odds than Hatton, even though I like Hatton. Maybe he should be 30-1 right there with Ludd and Hatton and Victor, but I don't think Victor should be in front of him. He's kind of in the right place, even though 28 feels dumb because you just don't feel like you have any win equity, as we talked about last week. I feel very confident with Hatton based on his links history, but he does have a major championship record that it's not like he's been in contention a lot. You wonder about his headspace for stuff, but I mean, links doesn't seem to give him fits. But you have the live question marks,
Yeah. I mean, I want Tommy to win so bad though.
Yeah, it's a heart pick there.
But Hatton, I don't know. This is so you're saying if you're going with your two favorites, it's going to be Tommy and Hatton. But what are you going to do?
Well, Rahm, I mean,
well, I know Rahm. I'm taking
I'm
him
with
out.
you on Rahm. Yeah. I mean, out of those 5, it is definitely Rahm, Tommy, and Hatton in the top 3. But I don't know whether I put Hatton above Tommy or Tommy above Hatton. And if I had to eliminate one of those right now, I don't think I can eliminate one of them.
I don't think I can either.
So we'll see how it goes on Wednesday. Maybe it's a tee time thing. Maybe it's a better group for one than the other. I don't know, but we'll see how that shakes out. But for now, I can't pick.
Yeah. What about Shane?
Oh yeah. God, we've done the Shane thing quite a bit this year.
Yeah.
It's not gone well.
It's not going well for us.
It's definitely not gone well. I think I'm out. And a big part is look at his scrambling numbers. Like you're talking about a thing that the guy has historically done extremely well, and he's just not sharp right now. I'm not to say he can't have a better week, and he's obviously a world class player. But if I'm picking guys in this shorter range, I just would rather I would just rather feel like you're dialed, at least on everything tee to green. I understand the putting thing can come and go, and the greens here are going to be, fescue and a little slower, but I don't think Shane's in the mix for me.
Okay.
Does that help you?
It helps a lot.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out by Wednesday.
Yeah. No, but it does. I mean, I think I was kind of leaning in those top 3 that you said. I feel like I'm just going to end up somehow with Ludwig over Victor, but we'll see.
Oh, maybe you'll get there. Where people should get is they need to get to our Ryder Cup event, because we found out today we got about 12 or 14. I think it's either 12 or 14 guys coming. 14. I think it's 14 guys coming to the event. We got room for a few more if you still want to go to Bethpage. Okay. Come on, get there. Our friends at Elite Events are hooking people up. I've heard nothing but good feedback from those 14 folks that used our friends at Elite Events and tickets to sign up for the ultimate Ryder Cup golf getaway in New York with me and Pat, the tour junkies. Our boy Matt Every's going to be there somewhat or some way with us. He wants to hang out. We're going to go to New York, and here's what is included in this package: the hotel, transportation on Friday and Saturday for golf. So you're staying in the hotel, your transportation, a Yankees game on Thursday night. They're playing the White Sox. We're all going to go take on, Yankee Stadium, do that whole thing. I might wear my Braves jersey. Friday, we're going to go play golf on Friday. We're going to have the Ryder Cup on our phones, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to go to a nice little Muni there in Manhattan, play a 27-hole Ryder Cup style golf tournament with breakfast and lunch included. So golf all day, party on Friday night. Then on Saturday, we're going to go to the Ryder Cup. Me, Pat, all of our friends that sign up for this thing, we're going to descend on Bethpage together to root on Team USA. I will be cheering for Europe if Brian Campbell is on Team USA, and it's going to be a great time. And then Saturday night, we are going to attend a private viewing. We got a nice little bar set up for Georgia and Alabama. Big SEC clash. Our Georgia Bulldogs are going to be hosting Bama that Saturday night. Can't wait for that. And then on Sunday, if you stay over another night, you can go with us to the Ryder Cup again to watch the U.S. team close it out. Now, you've got a couple different options: the 3-night or the 4-night package. All those things are included in there. You can customize. So over here, if you just say, hey, I can only do this, I can only do that, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that, that's fine. Our friends at Elite Events and Tickets will hook you up and help you build something a la carte that you will like. So all you have to do is go in the description of the show, click the description click the link for Elite Events, fill out the form. They're not going to inundate you with phone calls and emails and crap, but they'll reach out to you. They'll figure out what you want to do. They'll work with you, and they're easy to work with. They're based right here in Augusta. We've known them for 10 years. One of the first sponsors of this podcast ever. So they're great folks. Check them out. And they're running a little promo right now. This expires at the end of July, but if you sign up by July and you spend $1,500, they're going to get you a Ryder Cup hat. If you spend $3,000, you get a hat and a flag. If you spend $4,500, they're going to get a hat, a flag, and a putter cover from the Ryder Cup. Do a little shopping for you, give you a nice little gift card, just something nice to throw in there. But you're going to get to hang out with me and Pat, and we're going to have a great time. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. It's Bethpage, people. Get there. So that's coming up, and we really want people to sign up quickly. We're going to close this out here pretty soon, at least the golf stuff, because we want to figure out the teams for the 27-hole Ryder Cup event, how that whole thing's going to get scored, and anything like that. So get to stepping, people. Figure it out. Okay. Moving down the board, Pat, 2 names I really like, and I am tempted to bet them now, would be Sepp Straka at 55-1 on FanDuel, and Matt Fitzpatrick at 55-1 on DraftKings. I had Fitzy last week at the Renaissance Club, and he played well. He obviously looks like he's bouncing back from a little stint of piss poor play, but he's back. Obviously a major winner. Sepp, runner-up the year Brian Harman won at the Open Championship. That was his best major performance. Doing his thing, chipping and putting last week. The ball striking's been a little off, but I just think the value's there, because we're talking about guys who can close the door and win a major. I think Sepp can do it. We've seen him win multiple PGA Tour events and level up there. He just won a signature event at Philly Cricket Club. So I think the value is good. Like I know we do this all the time, and that people might be fatigued of Sepp Straka, but I don't think you should be, and it could be costly. Your fatigue of Sepp Straka has nothing to do with whether or not he can win the Open Championship.
No, it does not. And we can't forget either that he very easily could have won the year Brian Harman won also a couple of years ago. So,
I mean, I trust him, and I think if he plays it 100 times, 1,000 times, he wins it more than Bobby Mack. I think he wins it. Honestly, if we're being, I don't know, that's tough. Like right now, Morikawa seems out there. Ludwig is a little touchy. Hatton,
I think for sure, if you were running it 1,000 times, Sepp would beat Colin Morikawa in it.
Right now, yeah,
right now. So I agree on Sepp and Fitzy too. Fitzy's trend is just
love Fitzy right now.
So good. I mean, it really is good. The stats have gotten better. The finishes are good. It all really point in the odds I like. I think it's a really good value at 55 to 1 for him.
Yeah,
based on how he's playing right now.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I think you can add in Russell Henley.
I think I agree. I actually agree. I mean, I'm in on Russell Henley when he's not 20 to 1 and people want to have Russell Henley. And even, I know it's a weaker field, but like 65 to 1, I think Henley's a great play here.
Yeah, for sure. I am curious as to why he didn't play here in 2019. Because he played here every year after that, and he was still a thing. He was a thing at that point for sure. I wonder if he was injured. I don't know. I didn't figure that out.
Not the greatest Open Championship record, I guess. T5 last year was his best one he's had in a while. But you never know with some of that stuff. Like, I guess we could do the research and figure out what side of the draw he was on, if there was a draw advantage, or 2022 was obviously a big year for bombers at St. Andrews. Like, but I do think the course fit is nice for him. His around the green play is incredible. He's hitting near 70% of his fairways. Like, and again, like with it playing a little firm and fast, and it's not super long to begin with. I mean, it's not short, but it's not, a U.S. Open PGA Championship 7,600 yard golf course. I think this sets up really nice for him. The only thing I wish he would have played the Genesis.
Oh, I did too. Yeah,
I don't know why he didn't do that, but he doesn't like to play there, I guess. He's got his method.
Yeah, well, I think his method can work, and I do like 65 to 1 there.
Yeah, Sepp, Fitz, and Henley, I'm tempted to hit those now. They're very tempting. All right, let me give you 2 names that I'm very tempted by, and then I'm going to tell you, then we can kick those around, then I'll give you a few more that I'm just kind of eyeballing.
Okay.
I really am in on Patrick Reed. I think he wants blood. Just won the event in where was it? Where did he win? Dallas? Yeah, he just won Dallas, T10 last week. Played, had a chance to close the door at Augusta this year. I mean, he was in it, T3, T23 of the US Open. I just think Reed is poised to do some damage. Chip on his shoulder as always. 80 to 1.
I mean, I agree. I think 80 to 1 is a good number. I think you're right. I think he's definitely driven, chip on his shoulder, all those things. I don't know. I feel like, and he did have the 10th here in 2019, but I don't know. I don't know what to do with Patrick Reed. Yeah. I don't know if he can win, but I think, we'll see.
I think that's it for me. Those are the guys that I'm like really leaning on. There are a couple names. I'll let you round out your picks, and if one of those happen to be another name I've got written down here, I'll bring it up.
Well, I got a few more that I'll bring up. One, I don't think we just ignore the guy who just won, and Chris Gotterup. He's 90-1. Again, he still has these, his finishes have been fantastic. He's obviously feeling himself right now, so I think 90-1 isn't terrible there. I like the guy right next to him too, Ryan Fox. Fox was somebody that everybody was on. I feel like he was on a lot of cards. He was on mine. Finished T16 here back in 2019. Didn't have a great week for what everybody was expecting out of him with a T65 at the Scottish. But I do like Ryan Fox. And then another guy that I know you've liked before, recently, who's also playing well. I mean, this is his last 3 starts. 9th at the Travelers in a really good field, T13 at the Rocket Mortgage, then T17 last week. He had a chance. I mean, he was up there, but Harry Hall, he's 110-1. He's 10th in the BTN model. Top 10 in scrambling, 21st in that putting from 6 to 15 feet stat. I mean, basically across the board, other than that distance from the edge of the fairway. He's in there. He's in the top, third of the field in all the stats in that model. So I think Harry Hall is another one. And then you'd have to go I don't know. I don't think there's anybody else I really feel that strongly about other than maybe a top 20. But I do kind of like Nick Taylor at that 150-1 number. And I like Nikolai Højgaard also coming off that really good finish last week at 150-1. Those two guys I like. I would have taken them in the season long, but they went off the board in front of me. Other than that, I don't think I feel really that strongly about anybody else to win this golf tournament, but I think those two guys could actually win. Nick Taylor can win. He's got win equity.
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of agreement on this show up until probably now. Now, Fox and Hall are both names I wrote down as potential top 20 candidates. I think they're potential DFS plays. I don't think they're sneaky by any means. I think everybody's paying attention to how well.
No, I don't think they're sneaky at all. Yeah. I think Fox is more just folks are going to be off of him a little bit, because of the fact that he didn't play so great last week. But the odds probably correct at 90-1. If he wins last week, he's a lot shorter than 90-1. But I don't, other than that, I think it's
bad. I just, when I was trying to write down names to win, I'm thinking a little bit of experience, right? Like the Open's kind of like Augusta in that way. We get older winners, we get experience, we get battle tested, and so I had a hard time pulling the trigger. I mean, Fox is experienced, so he checks that box, but I had a harder time with Hall. I had a harder time with definitely Gotterup. I don't see Gotterup winning this thing. The top 20, rise of momentum to a top 20, sure. Win, absolutely not. But Hall, I could quickly check out off that box. But for me, I kind of went the opposite. Guys I normally would never, I don't know the last time I bet this guy. It's probably been a year or more. I don't even remember when it could have been. But a major champion, a Ryder Cupper, a guy who's flashed high upside form this year and in majors lately. And he's at 80-1, Justin Rose.
Yeah, I thought about him.
I don't love it. I'm not saying I want it right now, but it's one I'm like, I could see getting to Justin Rose come Wednesday. T2 here, or T2 in 2024, 6th at the Genesis Scottish just last week. Another runner-up at the Open in 2018. Like Rosie's kind of evolving into like this big game hunter. I mean, runner-up at the Masters this year, buddy.
Listen, I had Rose on my card. I had Rose and Rory. So I'm big. I don't mind it, but I don't know.
He missed the cut at the U.S. Open and the PGA this year. Totally different golf courses than this, like big golf courses for him. Runner-up at the Masters and then runner-up at the Open. Those are the two majors he had played prior to that. Missed the cut again at the U.S. Open in 2024. T6 at the PGA. Like, he's been pretty boom or bust. But 80-1, I think, is very intriguing. The next old head is Hideki. And, I mean, he's not old.
Yeah, but I thought about that. I kind of thought more on from a draft, like a DFS standpoint. I think it might be a pretty good pivot play, but we might get into that. But I would say that I don't mind the Hideki talk there.
But I mean, 80-1 when his around the green play is just as elite as it's always been. Like it's pretty freaking good. Or not, it's pretty dang good. It's really just been his ball striking, which is crazy. But 80-1, like I might take a chance that he's found it since the Rocket Mortgage, like that he's just figured it out. So Hideki definitely interests me at 80-1. And then the other one I had written down was Nick Taylor, who you mentioned. I mean, I think 170-1, given what that guy's done in the last couple of years, he's clearly not afraid of the moment. And 170, 150 feels very nice for Nick Taylor.
Yeah.
So those are just guys I think can win an Open Championship.
I
see the shitting grin on your face right now, by the way. I can tell.
I think you might laugh at this. So you know how I can tend to check out and like I get a little sidetracked on the show sometimes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You got me sidetracked because you were talking about experience and winning the Open, and I was like, all right, I know there's been some names of some guys, and maybe they're experienced. I don't know if they are or not, but when they won the Open, they were no names, and so I just looked up no name champions. And I just thought it was funny because, you could do this on Google and it'll show the AI overview. So I'll start with one was Paul Lowry won in 1999. Now that was at Carnoustie when Van de Velde collapsed because he came from 10 shots back. All right. And it says Lowry won the 1999 Open with a remarkable 10-shot comeback. That's all it says, the overview. Then you had Ben Curtis in 2003.
The worst. Worst.
26. This is what it says. The 26-year-old Ohio native won by 1 shot in 2003. That's all it says. So pretty like those first two, it's kind of normal. Like, oh, they won by 1 shot. Then the year after Curtis was Todd Hamilton in 2004. So I just think this is funny. I don't know why. It says the 39-year-old American won with a hybrid club in 2004. Like that was the only club he had.
Oh my God, is that a hybrid? Is that a bloody hybrid in his hand?
Like I mean, it just shows that as the overview was that he won with a hybrid club. Like that. Like he had nothing else in his bag but a hybrid.
This year it'll say, Sepp Straka wins with a 9-wood in his bag, and we'll all laugh about that later.
I don't know. Maybe you should pull out a hickory, and then that's all it'll say.
That's funny. Yeah.
Anyway, there have been a few no names.
Wasn't a lot of depth, I would say, back in those days. I mean, you have to agree.
Ben Curtis actually had a few wins on tour, but and if Matt Every were here, he could probably get into some Ben Curtis talk. But
I also think the weather is the thing there. Like if weather is nuts, to me it definitely invites more chaos in terms of who could win this thing. First of all, you could eliminate half the field if the weather splits it. So it doesn't matter how good somebody is. If he's in the crap end of the draw, he's done. Mm-hmm. And then you've really narrowed it down to a bunch of wild cards. So I do think the weather matters, and you can get that here at the Open for sure. But I just don't, as of now, Monday night recording this, it doesn't seem like we're going to get a lot of crazy weather. We're just going to get firm, baked out, difficult Open Championship golf. I think winning score sub 10 under right now, which I think is just difficult. So
yeah.
And when that happens, you tend to see the cream rise to the top. Okay, let's talk top 20s. Then we'll talk a little bit about DraftKings pivots that we like, and we'll get out of here. I got a ton of names for possible top 20s. It's hard to narrow down because a lot of names that I like, a lot of names that check a lot of boxes in my model on Bet the Number that I don't think are feasible winners, but are very juicy top 20 numbers I like. So I'm going to give you, I'm doing some bonuses here. We normally do 2 locks and a bomb. I'm going to go 2 locks and I'm going to go 2 bombs. So you're getting you're getting a bonus pick. I'm going 2 guys to lock. I'm going at 2-1 or longer. I'm going Henley and Fitzy. And we've talked about both those guys extensively, but Henley's plus 210 and Fitzy's 2-1. And they just feel like great course fits, arriving in great form, major championship guys who have played well. I mean, Fitzy's won one, but Henley's played well in them. I like them both a lot as top 20 locks. I don't think they're that far off as being locks compared to, Hovlands and Ludvigs and Morikawas. So I like the value.
Okay. Yeah, I think those odds actually have gotten they've kind of fluctuated a little bit. So that would be one I'd be jumping on now because I think those could shorten to less than that 2-to-1 number. I'll go a little shorter then for me because I really think Hatton to me, I know there are some question marks, but I just feel really good about him as a top 20 at plus 135.
I like it.
And I do I think the last winner we had here, Shane Lowry, I think at plus 140 is another one that I like as a top 20 number. I was going to give a third as Henley, but since you did it already,
there you
I
go.
would just we got some agreement there.
Agreement on 3 out of 4. I don't know about Lowry, but top 20, sure. What? Give me a bomb or two, 4-to-1 or longer.
All right. Well, I think there's a few that we could look at because I got a random name in here for you, DB.
Yeah, I tried to bring in a couple unknowns,
and mainly because of his Open Championship record the last couple of years. But Laurie Cantor.
God dang, that was one I had.
Yeah, plus 500. He might be longer on some of these.
He's plus 650 on. Or at least he was. He may not be now, but he was plus 650 earlier.
Yeah, I mean he's got T17 in 2023, T25 in 2024. He is coming off a good. I think he was top 10 in the BMW just a couple weeks ago. So Laurie Cantor's one that I liked. Who else did I have on here? I think. Dang,
I can't believe you took him.
I'll give one more. I think. I don't know why Thriston Lawrence just feels like an Open Championship person
because he could have won it last year.
Because he could have won it last year, maybe, and then we saw him up on a leaderboard a few weeks ago. But I think, and he was up there in the U.S. Open.
What's his number?
Plus 400 is what I'm seeing.
See, I'd rather have your boy McKibben there at plus 400.
Yeah, I do like that too.
Oh, Tiny Tom McKibben. I just feel like McKibben's related to that upright deer guy that played in the what is it? The Chronicles of Narnia movie. Just so Tiny Tom. You know what is it? What was his name?
Is 5-1 plus 500 now on DK.
There we go, Mr. Tumnus.
Mr. We knew Tony would have that.
Mr. Tumnus. I don't know. Tom McKibben, this little Irish Tiny Tom McKibben, seems like Mr. Tumnus to me.
Listen, I took him in this.
Does he?
I took him in the.
Can we find out how tall he is? Because he may not be tiny. He may be my height. I just feel like he's tiny. Okay. I can't believe you took Cantor from me. Well, my other one was going to be the guy who got a little chatter last week, paid it off with a T13 finish. I put him up in SoBet to finish in the top 40 at plus money. Christopher Reitan, the 84th ranked player in the world, the Norwegian friend of Victor Hovland, playing quite well. Just won the Sedal Open a few weeks ago. That really kind of jump-started him. But he's had two runner-ups this year on the DP World Tour, as well as a T4 at the BMW International just a couple weeks ago. Gets his opportunity at the Genesis Scottish and takes advantage of it. Hits it long. Good ball striker. Gained 7.43 strokes tee to green at the Genesis, and then basically putted neutral at the Genesis. So quite the impressive showing for him. We've seen, we haven't seen a lot of full-time DP guys, similar to what we talked about last week for the Genesis. Like, we haven't seen a ton of full-time Genesis or DP guys like contend lately to win the Open, but they can definitely hang around the board and catch some momentum if they've got the links experience and they've got things going in the right direction. We've seen that with guys like Matthew Jordan the last couple of years. I think Dan Brown had a good year last year. He just won on the Euro Tour. Thriston Lawrence is an example. So it can happen. But I like Rattan. And then I guess since you gave out, I was going to go Cantor. I'll go with McKibben. Like just Mr. Tumnus. I'll go with McKibben. 4-1. Okay.
A lot of McKibben talk. I'm happy.
Well, I mean, he's a Northern Irishman. He's live. He's been playing well on live, by the way. He's finished 5th and 4th his last 2 live events. I bet you didn't know that.
No, he's coming. I just mentioned it. You see, you weren't paying attention.
Wait, you mentioned his live events?
Yeah, when I was talking about my season,
yeah,
when I said the season long, when I took him in the season long, I said he finished. I thought it was. I may have said top 10 in his last live event.
Oh yeah, that's
he's
finished,
but he was
5th and 4th last event.
Yeah,
and he's got T7 and T6 earlier in the year. Got 4 top 7 finishes for whatever that's worth. I don't know, but he's doing all right. Legion 13 member. All right, let's talk DraftKings. We'll get out of here. A couple pivots. Who knows where this ownership stuff is going to land. Oh, he's 6'1". Oh my God, he's not tiny. I'm tiny compared to tiny Tom McKibben. Isn't that just the tiniest name you've ever heard, though? Like if I said there's a boy from Ireland, Northern Ireland, who's a golfer. His name is Tom McKibben. How tall is he? You'd say, oh,
yeah,
5'5".
I think he was short.
Yeah. Did you like Rory's haircut, by the way?
I admit, I didn't see it.
You didn't see Rory's haircut?
No.
He sat down with Amanda Balionis after, and his alleged mistress, and she asked him about it. You didn't see it?
I didn't, but I was thinking just now, like the Irish people, like if you called an Irish person a leprechaun, is that like a bad thing? Is that like if you'd be like if you said like you leprechaun,
shut up, leprechaun. First of all, leprechaun is too many syllables to be a demeaning slang. You can't have 3 syllables in it.
But there's something about it that makes me think they could be upset if you said that.
So if you're saying,
you just said, like, shut up, you leprechaun.
Get the fuck out of here, leprechaun. Get off, lick my balls, leprechaun. If you were like that. If I saw McKibben in the streets and he's like, hey, I heard earlier you called me a tiny guy. F you, and I'd be like, lick my balls, leprechaun boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. That could be offensive. I don't know. Do we have any listeners in Ireland that are still listening an hour into this show? Let us know. Is that offensive? Or do you guys kind of take pride in it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys you gave us the leprechaun. You gave the world the leprechaun. That's pretty cool, honestly.
And then if you ask where the Lucky Charms are, I mean, I bet it goes all, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Where's your pot of gold? MF'er. I want the gold. Where the gold at? Okay, quickly. I got a lot of pivots that I could hit, but 8K range looks like a potential dead spot for DFS. The one guy in there that I'm tempted to take, and I'm probably going to do it, is Koepka.
Yeah.
At an even 8K.
I think,
he shocked us all at the U.S. Open, finishing T12, because everyone has written him off. Everyone has gone ahead and written him off. But he showed at the U.S. Open, I mean, gain strokes across the board was basically neutral putting. Like, he's a dog. And we know he's got a decent Open record, cut his teeth on the DP World Tour coming up. Just 8K Brooks is way more interesting to me than any, in terms of pivots in that range. I mean, obviously Hatton I like, but I'd rather have him over Neiman or Cantlay or Hovland.
I think Cantlay's gonna, his ownership is gonna say he's a pivot. I think I'm out, but I'm just saying I think he could.
Yeah, I agree. I think the same thing on Morikawa. I think people are so soured on Morikawa. I know I talked about him not being a guy that I like to win, but he may be, because people are not liking him.
Yeah.
He may be a low-owned option in DFS, and I would take it. I don't like the numbers. I don't like the stats. I don't like him to win, but he has won 2 majors, and one was the Open.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I'm interested to see what JT is going to be. I do think there's going to be chalk there, but I don't know. I don't know what to do with JT. So I'd like to see where the ownership looks for him, because he hasn't been terrible lately. His Open record is so weird. It's up and down, but he did finish T11 here last time. So I'm interested in that. In the 7K range, I think you're going to see the chalk at the top there with Fitzy and Henley. I'm not going to touch Jordan Spieth. I was going to mention Hideki as my potential pivot there at 7,500 in that range, because Sep's going to have a ton of folks on him there. So Hideki was really my big name that I think could be the really good pivot play. Maybe Patrick Reed at the bottom there at 7,100.
I think Reed will get a little love.
Yeah. My favorite's definitely Hideki in the 7K range.
Okay. I love Hideki. I love Reed. Interested to see ownerships on both those guys. I already talked about Justin Rose. He's one right there with Hideki that I'm in on as well. So would love if one or two or all three of those guys have a little leverage. I think Reed is going to be a little more popular, but Hideki and Rose, we might get a little discount on. But one guy who I think is going to be lower owned than all four of them, I think, and he's cheaper, is at 7,000 even. And talk about a wee little leprechaun, except he's a Georgia boy, and that's Brian Harman.
Yeah.
I think Harman is very sneaky. I mean, obviously the win 2 years ago, but before that, a T6 and a T19 at the Open. Like, he's got a pretty decent he's got a decent Open track record. And he is kind of boomer bust this year. Ever since he's really won the Open, he's kind of been boomer bust. I mean, can you believe he won the Valero this year based on how he's kind of played? Like, did you even know that? Did you remember that? I wiped it from my memory until I was looking at him today. Like, he won the Valero out of nowhere, playing terrible.
I forgot, to be honest.
Yeah. Then third at the Heritage signature event, then played terrible, and then 8th at the Travelers signature event. Played last week, whatever, T50. I just think Harman is an interesting high upside pivot at 7K, and I would imagine he'll fall in the single digit ownership range, I think. So,
yeah,
love that. I have $1 million in the 6K range. Tough to narrow down, but I think there's a ton of options in the 6K, and then I got a few in the 5K. So let me see. If you have 6K names, you can rattle them off, and I'll try to narrow mine down.
Well, there's one I wanted to ask about, because I got to say I have not had time to research what he's done lately, but I know you've been on him at some Opens, and he had a T11 in 2022, top 20 last year. But Dean Burmester, where is he right now in his game? I mean, he's at 6,600. He's one that I just wanted to look at. I mean, Nikolai Højgaard, I like. I think the other ones we've already talked about a lot, and Harry Hall and Tom McKibben. I think Laurie Cantor is another one at 6,200. I think Seabez is interesting, also at 6,200. He's really kind of been up and down. Had the T12 at the U.S. Open. He was T13 last week at the Scottish. Has a lot of Open Championship experience, though. He's played in a lot of them. He just hasn't. I mean, a lot for a guy that I still think is relatively young. Hasn't had great finishes, but he has made the cut in 3 of the last 5. I think Seabez at 6,200 is super cheap. Is interesting. And then, Chris Kirk at 6,100.
Yeah.
He's been playing pretty well.
I don't hate any of those guys. I don't like any of them. I'm very meh on all the ones you named, which is crazy because I have about 12, 15 names written down here. Actually, I do like Harry Hall, but I don't think he's going to be a pivot. I think he's going to be popular.
Yeah, I think you're right. He is.
But if I'm looking at guys who people are going to be off on, I'll get a little weird on you. I think Aaron Rai is intriguing. He's got a very good links record. I don't think he's afraid of the moment. He's had enough experience. I think Rai is in play. I think Carlos Ortiz, who's had a great season on Live, is intriguing. Not great, I guess good. He's interesting. I don't know if this is going to be a pivot, but I just have to say it. I can't let the show go by and not say that Keegan Bradley is grossly mispriced. And I think that's going to lead to him not being a pivot. It's going to be popular, but I think that's even though his open record is terrible, I don't care. That's a crazy price for him.
He's the free square, as we like to say. Did you
I don't know if it's free because his open rerecord does suck, but
well, I know, but you remember was it Sepp who we thought was the free square at the either the PGA or the US Open?
Yeah,
he missed the cut.
So, I mean, listen, a super chalky Keegan is probably a fade, but it is definitely a misprice. JJ Spawn coming off the miscut, given this course setup, if it stays firm and fast, like I think that one's really intriguing, and I think people might be out on JJ Spawn. And then I'll give you one more that's definitely, I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's definitely a hold your nose situation. But luckily, I don't think you would have to, if you have this guy at 8%, you're probably double his ownership. And that is $6,300 Dustin Johnson.
Oh,
I mean, for as much as the chatter is that DJ doesn't care and DJ has mailed it in, which I completely understand. He, at least lately, has not sucked on Live with a T10, T13, and T7 his last 3 events. A T7 5 events ago. So, I mean, in 4 of his last 5 events, he's finished T13 or better with 3 top 10s on Live, which I think is good relative to what he'd been doing. Now, he hasn't had a worthwhile finish at a major since the U.S. Open in 2023. That is, let me check the notes, shit. Okay. So I completely understand it. If you look at the data, though, and I'm just selling myself as I'm selling you, it's not terrible. Like, the numbers are not terrible. It's not off the wall bad. It's not dominant DJ like we used to see, but it's not off the wall bad. And for $6,300, I'm just like, yeah, I might be okay stomaching 4% DJ just to have a little bit. How do you feel about that? How does that feel?
I mean, it doesn't feel great.
Is it the best course fit? No, it is not.
I feel like the last time I saw something about DJ. Well, it was recent. He got like a new boat or something. He was out fishing for a marlin, and I was, thinking, wow, I don't know. That sounds like a pretty fun thing, but I don't know. But
okay, hold on.
Let me better.
In his last 8 Open championships, he's only missed 2 cuts, and that was in 2023. He did not miss the cut last year. It was in 2023, and in 2018. So he's made 6 of 8 cuts at Open championships with 1, 2, 3 top 9 finishes. T6, T8, T9. Like, it's $6,300. This is not $8K DJ. This is not $9K DJ. This is $6,300 DJ who's made 6 of 8 cuts at the Open, 3 top 10 finishes in the last 8 years. I don't know. And 3 top 10s, basically, or whatever, on Live in his last 3 events. Like, looking like he actually can hit the golf ball again. So,
yeah.
I'm in.
Okay.
We feel good?
I got one more.
Okay. Well, we got the 5K range. Should I have a few names in the 5K range?
Oh, well, this is my 5K range guy.
Okay.
Do you want me to give it to you?
Yeah. Give it to me, you dirty little leprechaun.
I'm surprised this guy is actually 5,600.
If you squeeze a leprechaun, do they squeak like a squeak, or is it a little more rough around the edges, like an old Irish sailor or something?
No, because I feel like
if
you squeeze a leprechaun, like a squeak to me comes out the mouth. Like, that's what a squeak noise. But if you squeezed a leprechaun, it would come out their ass, and so it would sound a little more. Like,
this is so stupid. We are losing. This has turned into Beavis and Butthead previews the Open Championship.
Anyway,
we've lost all listeners now.
$5,600 Antoine Rosner.
Oh my God!
How is he at 5,600? Look at this, DB. I mean,
yeah, you're gonna have to sell me on this one. I have no idea.
All right, I'm going to give you this. I don't see his last miscut. I really don't. This is his last 10 events or so. The Scottish Open last week, 22nd. The Rocket Mortgage. You forget that he's actually been playing the PGA Tour, not the DP World Tour.
I had no idea.
T73. Okay. The Canadian Open, T24. Myrtle Beach, T34. CJ Cup, T13. Zurich, the team event, 31. Valero, 33rd. Houston, 64. I mean, the guy's made every cut. His last missed cut was American Express. That feels like 18 months ago.
He has played 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 4. He has played 14 PGA Tour events in 2025, and his best finish is a T13 with only one cut, and that was the Amex. This is the most mid individual ever to grace the PGA Tour. He is as mid as it gets.
As mid as it gets at $5,600. We're not saying. I mean, look. I mean,
I actually see what you're talking about. I'm just stating the facts. See, this is a very mid man. If he pairs nicely with Colin Morikawa and Patrick Cantlay, you can fit him in a lineup if you want to build a mid lineup.
I mean, you take out his 72 on Sunday, and he was up there. I mean, he was 5 under at the Scottish. The guy could have been in the top 10. I'm just saying.
I had no idea that. I had no idea that Rosner. I knew Rosner was on the PGA Tour. I actually drafted him in our Discord season-long league, which is terrible. I had no idea he was playing the weekends. I didn't know he was playing competitive weekend golf. I would have sworn he was playing non-competitive weekend golf after missing cuts on the PGA Tour. I don't know if I've seen him hit a shot all year. That's amazing. Good pull. 5K range, Christopher Reitan, who I already talked about, the Norwegian, is going to be popular, so I don't think he's going to be much of a pivot. Same could be true for Jordan Smith. We know I love some Jordan Smith. You put Jordan Smith in the 5K range at an Open Championship, you sir, have tickled my balls. You have tickled my DFS balls, and you've got me up in a lather. They're all shiny. They got a purplish hue to them. I'm ready to take them to the market, the farmer's market, if you do that with Jordan Smith. You know what I mean? You can't do that to me. So I'm doing that one. Dan Brown, who just won on the DP World Tour, downtown Dan Brown, I think is definitely in play. All three of those are going to get some love, but a guy who I don't think is going to get some love, but checks a lot of boxes, and we're going to end the show on this name, which is unfreaking believable. It's so stinky. It's as disgusting that we're ending the show like this. But he ranks 13th in DB's Royal Portrush model, and I can't even believe I'm saying it, because this guy is also what I consider to be very mid. Just a mid person, very forgettable, but he's won on the PGA Tour, which is just disgusting. Matt McCarty at $5,600 is 13th in my model, largely in part because he is pretty accurate off the tee. His iron play between 160 and 210 is actually 9th in this field over the last 50 rounds. Very good around the greens, very good putting, at least tight lies around the greens. Good putting, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, no bogeys. Doesn't hit it very far, but man, 22nd, 19th, T4 in 3 out of his last 5 starts. McCarty is in play for me at 5,600. Disgusting show. Well done. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Mr. Tony. Thank you, Mr. Tiny Tom McKibben. And listen, if you missed it earlier, there we go. Earlier. If you missed it earlier, go back and look at the Ryder Cup announcement that we made. You need to get involved in that. Click the link in the description. Check out our friends at SoBet and bet the number. Have a great week. Bend over your bookies and may your screens be green. See ya. Out. Tour Junkies featuring David Barnett is not an affiliate of CWM LLC. Opinions expressed by the host or guests do not reflect those of CWM LLC. CWM LLC does not endorse gambling or the entities promoted by the Tour Junkies podcast. David is a non-registered representative of CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.